Within the confines of the Mediterranean Sea, 60 miles south of Marseille, a group of Italian fishermen stumbles upon an unconscious American man floating adrift with 2 gunshot wounds in his back. They pull him aboard and, over the next several days, nurse him back to health. Though his physical wounds begin to heal, the man discovers he has no recollection of who he is or how he ended up in such dire circumstances. Despite the absence of his memory, he quickly realizes that he possesses a remarkable set of skills. He can speak multiple languages fluently, and his reflexes and combat abilities are those of a highly trained operative. As the fishermen tend to his wounds, they discover an unusual piece of technology embedded in his hip, a tiny laser projector. When activated, it displays a series of numbers, which they deduce as the code to a safe deposit box located in Zurich, Switzerland. The skipper of the fishing boat, Giancarlo, decides to help the mysterious man, providing him with a small amount of money to get by. After spending 2 weeks recovering with the fisherman, the man disembarks in Imperia, Italy, and immediately sets out for Zurich, determined to uncover his true identity. Upon arriving in Zurich, he locates the bank and accesses the safe deposit box. Inside, he finds a collection of items that further complicate his sense of self. Several stacks of money in different currencies, multiple passports from various countries, all bearing his photograph but with different names, and identity cards that identify him as numerous different people. Among the items, there is also a handgun, which he decides to leave behind. Choosing the American passport as his new identity, he assumes the name on it, Jason Bourne. Unknown to Bourne, his visit to the bank triggers an alert to a secret CIA Black Ops program known as Operation Treadstone. The head of Treadstone, Conklin, is notified immediately and takes swift action to neutralize the potential threat. He issues orders to the authorities to apprehend Bourne and activates 3 of Treadstone's top assassins, Castell, Mannheim, and the Professor, to eliminate him. Meanwhile, CIA Deputy Director Abbott is growing increasingly concerned about the fallout from a recent failed assassination attempt on an exiled African dictator named Wombosi. Wombosi, a former CIA-backed leader who was deposed, is now threatening to expose the agency's covert operations in Africa unless he is reinstated to power. Abbott pressures Conklin to resolve the situation quickly. As Bourne navigates the unfamiliar streets of Zurich, trying to piece together his past, he soon finds himself pursued by the local police. To evade capture, he uses his American passport to seek refuge in the U.S. consulate. However, his presence there only raises more suspicion, and soon, Marine guards are on his tail. In a desperate move, Bourne escapes the consulate and crosses paths with a 26-year-old German woman named Marie Kreutz. He offers her $20,000 in exchange for a ride to an address in Paris that he found on one of his documents. Reluctantly, Marie agrees to help him. When they arrive at the Parisian address, Bourne finds an apartment that seems vaguely familiar. Inside, he searches for clues about his identity and makes a crucial discovery. A redialed number on the phone leads him to a hotel, where he learns that one of the names on his passport, John Michael Caine, had been registered as a guest. However, according to the hotel staff, Caine died in a car crash 2 weeks earlier. Before Bourne can process this information, Castell, one of Treadstone's assassins, ambushes him and Marie. A violent struggle ensues, but Bourne's training kicks in, and he overpowers Castell. Instead of allowing himself to be interrogated, Castell throws himself out of the apartment window, choosing to die rather than reveal any secrets. Shaken by the encounter, Marie is initially terrified and wants nothing more to do with Bourne. But when she sees wanted posters with both their faces plastered around the city, she realizes that she is now implicated in whatever conspiracy is surrounding him. Despite her fear, she agrees to continue helping Bourne, and they flee from the police, eventually finding refuge in a small hotel in Paris. Meanwhile, Wombosi grows increasingly paranoid about the failed assassination attempt. Conklin, anticipating Wombosi's suspicions, tries to throw him off the trail by planting a body in a Paris morgue, hoping it would pass as the would-be assassin. However, Wombosi isn't fooled. The body lacks the gunshot wounds that would match the attack on his yacht. Enraged, Wombosi threatens to go public with what he knows about the CIA's operations in Africa. To silence him once and for all, Conklin orders the professor to assassinate Wombosi, which he successfully does. Conklin then lies to Abbott, claiming that Bourne completed the mission and might be reporting back soon. Bourne and Marie continue to dig deeper into his past, visiting the morgue where Kane's body was kept. They learn that Wombosi had recently inspected the body, raising more questions about the connection between Bourne, Kane, and the assassination attempt. In a bid to unravel the mystery, Bourne poses as Kane and visits a security company that provides services to high-profile clients like Wombosi. There, he uncovers a chilling truth. The assailant who was shot on Wombosi's yacht was hit twice in the back during his escape. This revelation triggers a flash of memory, confirming Bourne's worst fear. He was the one who failed to assassinate Wombosi. In need of a safe place to lay low, Bourne and Marie head to a secluded countryside home belonging to Eamon, one of Marie's relatives. As they try to regroup and plan their next move, Conklin, under increasing pressure from Abbott to tie off the loose ends, tracks down Bourne's location and dispatches the professor to eliminate him. The peaceful respite is shattered when the professor arrives, but Bourne, now fully aware of his lethal abilities, manages to shoot the assassin with Eamon's shotgun, mortally wounding him. In his final moments, the professor reveals that he and Bourne were both part of the same covert operation, Treadstone. Realizing the danger he poses to those around him, Bourne urges Marie, Eamon, and the children to leave for their safety. He then uses the professor's phone to contact Conklin, setting up a meeting in Paris. During the call, Bourne lies, telling Conklin that Marie is dead because she had become a liability. Conklin, underestimating Bourne's resourcefulness, agrees to meet him alone. However, when Bourne arrives at the designated location, he quickly realizes that Conklin hasn't come alone. Using his skills, Bourne plants a tracking device on Conklin's car, which leads him to Treadstone's safe house in Paris. Inside the safe house, Bourne confronts Conklin and Nicky Parsons, a logistics technician. The tense exchange between Bourne and Conklin finally brings clarity to the mysteries that have plagued Bourne since he awoke on that fishing boat. Conklin reveals that Bourne was a highly trained operative, created as part of Treadstone, a secret program designed to carry out assassinations on behalf of the U.S. government. Bourne was sent to kill Wombosi, but he couldn't go through with it when he saw the dictator's children on the yacht. Instead, he fled, leading to the botched mission that left him wounded and suffering from amnesia. Bourne, now fully aware of who he is and what he was designed to do, tells Conklin that he is finished with Treadstone and demands to be left alone. As the situation in the safe house escalates, Bourne manages to escape just as a team of agents descends on the location. Outside, Conklin is ambushed and killed by Mannheim, another Treadstone agent, acting on orders from Abbott, who is determined to erase all evidence of the program's existence. With Conklin dead and Treadstone effectively dismantled, Abbott shifts his focus to a new project, codenamed Blackbriar. Meanwhile, Bourne, having survived the ordeal, sets out to find Marie. In the final moments of the story, he tracks her down on the Greek island of Mykonos, where she is now living a peaceful life renting scooters to tourists. Their reunion hints at the possibility of a new beginning, far removed from the dark world of espionage and violence that once defined Bourne's existence. Movie commentary. The Bourne Identity 2002 is a riveting spy thriller that redefined the genre and set a new standard for action films in the early 21st century. Directed by Doug Liman and based on Robert Ludlum's 1980 novel, the movie introduces Jason Bourne, a man left for dead who awakens with no memory of his identity, yet possesses an array of lethal skills. What unfolds is a gripping tale of espionage, survival, and self-discovery, expertly woven together with relentless action and a deeply personal narrative. Matt Damon, in his breakout role as Jason Bourne, delivers a performance that is both intense and emotionally resonant. Damon brings a human dimension to the character, portraying Bourne not just as a highly skilled operative but as a man grappling with the loss of his past and the moral implications of his actions. His vulnerability and confusion are palpable, making Bourne a protagonist that audiences can both root for and empathize with. This complexity distinguishes Bourne from the typical, invincible action hero and adds depth to the story. The story's pacing is exceptional, striking a perfect balance between introspective moments and heart-pounding action sequences. From the tense escape from the U.S. Embassy to the now iconic car chase through the narrow streets of Paris, each scene is meticulously crafted to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. The action is grounded and realistic, relying on Bourne's quick thinking and resourcefulness rather than exaggerated stunts or special effects. This approach not only heightens the tension but also grounds the film in a sense of authenticity that makes the danger feel real. Supporting performances add further layers to the story. Franca Potenti as Marie, the woman who becomes unwittingly caught up in Bourne's quest, brings warmth and humanity to the film. Her character serves as Bourne's anchor to a world he no longer understands, and their growing bond provides an emotional core that makes the stakes feel personal. Chris Cooper, as the calculating and ruthless CIA operative Conklin, plays the perfect foil to Bourne. His portrayal of a man driven by the need to control and eliminate threats adds to the film's sense of paranoia and urgency. The Bourne Identity 2002 is also notable for its thematic exploration of identity, morality, and the consequences of living a life shrouded in secrecy. As Bourne pieces together fragments of his past, the film delves into deeper questions about the nature of power and the cost of a life in the shadows. The story challenges viewers to consider the ethical implications of government-sanctioned violence and the psychological toll it takes on those who are trained to kill. These themes elevate the film beyond a mere action flick, making it a thought-provoking thriller that resonates on multiple levels. Visually, the story is stylish yet restrained, with Doug Liman's direction capturing the gritty realism of the European settings. The cinematography by Oliver Wood enhances the film's tension and atmosphere, with tight, kinetic shots that immerse the audience in Bourne's world. The choice of locations, ranging from the wintry streets of Zurich to the vibrant, bustling heart of Paris, adds an international flair that underscores the global stakes of the story. The score by composer John Powell deserves special mention as well. Powell's music, characterized by its pulsating rhythms and haunting melodies, perfectly complements the film's tone. The score not only amplifies the intensity of the action scenes but also underscores the emotional journey of its protagonist, adding another layer of depth to the viewing experience. The Bourne Identity 2002 is more than just a high-octane action film. It's a masterclass in suspense and storytelling that redefined what a spy thriller could be. By combining realistic action with a character-driven plot and thought-provoking themes, the film appeals to both adrenaline junkies and those looking for a more cerebral experience. Its success paved the way for a highly acclaimed franchise that continues to influence the genre to this day. The Bourne Identity 2002 stands as a landmark film that expertly blends action, intrigue, and emotion. It remains a benchmark in modern cinema, with its impact felt in countless films and television shows that followed. Whether you're a fan of espionage thrillers or simply appreciate well-crafted storytelling, The Bourne Identity 2002 offers a thrilling, immersive experience that leaves a lasting impression.